All right. All right. I'm live. I'm going live. Fuck it. Yeah. Anyway, how you doing, everybody? I was going to record it, and I said, nah, just go live and do it. Don't matter. I haven't done a live in a while. Maybe somebody will show up, maybe not. I'm just wanting to touch base with what I gone through in the last week. I haven't posted much videos. A couple shorts about a week ago on my way up there. I was going to make shorts on the way back, but I would just focus on getting home. And that's all I was doing. I don't think this is going to be too long a video unless the people show up and we start chatting and talking about Elbow and Von Helton and Cyrex and Roger Brownstein. A lot going on with, I guess, Rev and them. I've only been catching glimpses of other people's coverage of it, but I don't really follow them too. I just sometimes I'll see what other people say to it. Nick made a couple videos, telling everybody he's got autism and that's why everything he did wrong is not his fault. We all know that's his end game on that. I've been working on some art. I have to make myself big to do that. Show you some of my art that I did recently. I'll get a little brighter in here. We've got this one here. It's called Two Wood Ducks. It's real simple. And then I got this one here, which I've done recently. This one is called Rooster on a Rail. I think I misspelled rail, but who cares? And that's, and I've got a blank one. I did a picture of a rabbit, and I was using oil pastels and instead of soft pastels, because the oil pastels are a lot more forgiving. It means I can just store them. I can display them a lot easier without worrying about something rubbing up against it. And I did a rabbit, but it didn't come out the way I wanted. I didn't like it, so I painted over it, and which is nice what you can do with canvas. And so I got kind of this bluish green. It's got some white streaks in it, and I'm going to draw a pelican in it. So imagine a pelican, and you got that picture, but it'll be sitting on a wooden stump out in the water, and that's my next project. My strap's coming loose. No one showed up, so I'm just gonna do my video. Let's go back to where we were. Like this one. Do this one, but I'm too small down there in the corner. Do this one, but don't want to do that. So I'm going to do this one. Nope. I'm going to do this one. There we go. So that's a picture from a balcony. I thought it was kind of cool, so I went with it. I'll have to restart it every few minutes probably, but anyway, looks like no one's showing up, which, I haven't made any lives in a while, so, it's kind of probably not the right time of day. People are busy working. Most people I know work, or they're retired and they got other things going. The people who subscribe to me are usually people who have a life, and so I don't have Von Helton. I'd love to have Von Helton on my show though, but he would rage quick. Just I start bringing up the stolen valor stuff. But I'm not going to do that. I just want to tell you guys what happened with my week. I recorded a video. I was saying that my mom was in the hospital. I had to go up there to see her. I went to a bigger town. Let's just say I'm not going to dox my mom. A bigger town in high school, in Kansas, still a one high school town, but it's a town that has a super Walmart, so it's big enough to have one of those. They have a hospital, and it's about 25 miles from my mom's house, I guess. I was coming down. I wasn't sure what town she was in, so I was in Missouri, and I asked her, which town do I head to? So I get my GPS. She said, I'm at the hospital in Pratt. So I got there, and she was, I doxed her. But anyway, she don't live in that town anyway. So anyway, she was getting discharged, not from that hospital to another hospital in the town that she lives, which is a smaller hospital. But her doctor's in the bigger town. So I was going to give her a ride, but her sister showed up, got off work and showed up. It was easier for her to get into her car than my big old truck. So I went up to the new hospital when she was getting admitted, and then she wanted me to go to her house and take care of her dogs and give one of her dogs a bath. And so I got there, and I know she left kind of hurry. She had a bunch of dishes. I went and did all her dishes for her and cleaned up her house, and the dogs weren't getting let out often enough. So she had someone come by once a day to check on the dogs and feed them. But they're not always taking the dogs out. So a few dog messes I had to clean up. And she said I could eat whatever I wanted. Well, so I cooked myself dinner. I stayed home for a few days to her house, and then she was let out. And my brother came down, rode his motorcycle down from Colorado, and we hung out with my mom, and we went out to eat in this even smaller town. Had a place that cooked fried chicken. Everybody thought it was the greatest chicken ever, but it's not like the Southern chicken. So I'm used to Southern chicken. But it wasn't bad chicken, chicken and green beans and mashed potatoes and gravy and a side salad and a little piece of ham. And, and then my mom had a discussion with me and my brother, about what to do, in case the inevitable happens. And my mom's pretty healthy. She's going to be around long, I think. But just in case, I had to take care of her affairs and do all that. I'm not looking forward to that, but that's going to happen one of these days. I'm 61 years old, so that lets you know. My mom's up there in the years, but she's pretty healthy, and she gets around. She's busy. She does her gardening, and she does jigsaw puzzles, those big ones. She works on those. Got 2 different tables with those going. She got TV, and she got her dog. She got 2 cats. She used to have like a bunch of pugs, and now she's got the last 2, and those pugs are getting kind of old, and she's not going to do any more dogs after those ones pass away. She'll just get cats. She's got a beautiful long-haired white cat, but her cats freaked out when I was there. They were coming in the house. They can get in their basement. My mom doesn't believe me, but I'd be sleeping in the middle of the night and get up and go to the bathroom and notice the door to the basement's open. I'd shut it. And then it happened again. And then one time when she was home, I was in the middle of the night and walked around and I saw the cat run, scared me and ran off. And then I turned around and I heard ding, 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 because there were little bells on the door to the basement. And next thing I looked, that basement door's open. So the cat went down the basement. That's fine. That's what cats do, what they do. They're her cats. And so, I don't need to give you all the boring details. I stayed until Tuesday, and Tuesday I was making sure my mom was okay being her own. She was. She was cooking. She cooked me and my brother steaks, and she cooked shrimp for me after my brother left. And then Monday, I don't know what she cooked, but she's cooking meals. I cooked her breakfast a couple times, and made her scrambled eggs, potatoes, and when I make scrambled eggs, there's stuff in it, cheese and uh, bell peppers and onions and stuff. And so she enjoyed that breakfast I made for her. Cooked bacon the other day. I cooked bacon and toast. And I think my brother threw the eggs out that they were too old. My brother went through all her cabinets and threw out all her expired food. I guess, that's a good deed. I didn't think to do that. My brother did, so that's good. And Tuesday morning, Monday night I loaded up the truck with a bunch of stuff except for some food. My mom was going to give me a bunch of food to take back, and I wanted some frozen food just to keep my cooler cold because they didn't have ice, and I left my ice packs at her house in the freezer, so she got new ice packs, I guess, in there. I'll just have to get some new when I go to Walmart on Saturday, if I can remember. But that next morning, I packed up some food and some food to eat on the way. We got those big steak with the rib bone. I had only eat half of it. My brother only ate half of his, so I took those, cut the bones off. I gave the bones to my dog. My dog was missing me the whole time. My mom said, or my wife said, the dog was sitting on the couch looking out the window, waiting for me to come home. She was so excited when I came home. But I'll tell you my trip. My trip there, I slept in the back because I didn't have the back. I have that 4-door truck, so the back seat's pretty flat back there, but it wasn't that comfortable because I couldn't stretch out my legs. So I had to sleep with my legs bent, and I was switching around all night trying to get comfortable. But I laid there, and I got up next morning, made it to my mom's. Well, on the way back, I had a bunch of stuff there because my mom gave me a bunch of stuff to bring back, a bunch of shoes for my wife because they wear the same size shoes. My mom's a Goodwill shopping fanatic, and so she's got all kinds of stuff. So she gave my wife a bunch of shoes, and I got a big table. I wasn't going to use it in my art studio, but my wife needs it for her office, so I'm going to put that in her office. It's in the front right now. My wife gets off work. She's going to have to help me bring it in the house. It's not going to be fun, but we'll get it in there. It's a big, heavy oak table. So there's going to be some griping bringing that in the house. I'm going to try to, I'm not going to try. I'm going to keep my cool, not yell at my wife because I know she's smaller than I am. And that's a big, heavy table. I'm just going to be thankful for whatever help I get getting that table in. And then I got some plants I got to plant. I got 2 bougainvilleas to plant out in the front because I want to get some. My mom gave me a couple of them. She had a whole bunch in pots. But she just keeps them in pots, and I want them in the ground, let them grow big. They'll cool off my porch a little bit. I was going to put my bamboo plant there. My wife's like, no, but we're going to put the rosemary down there with the bougainvilleas, and then I'm going to have to water that every day for a while until those roots get set in there. We might get some rain Saturday, but I'm back through Kansas. Stopped to see my cousin in Missouri. Well, Missouri now marijuana is legal. I didn't know that. So my cousin had some pot, so he's like, "Yeah, you want to get high?" And I hadn't been, I got high in a long time. And I was like, "Okay." Then I took a couple hits, and he had like this big old way that they smoke pot nowadays. When I, I'll tell you how long ago it was. I smoked little joints and one hitters and pipes and bongs a long time ago, but I hadn't smoked any in so long. I'd always wanted to try it again. And so I smoked some, and I was like, "Oh man, that was stupid. I got to drive, you know, all this way down the highway, and I'm already stoned. I'm like, I can't drive stoned." I told my cousins I can't have any more. I got to drive eventually. So I waited there like 3 hours till it wore off. Then it was wore off, and I could drive home. I was pretty stoned. I haven't smoked it in a long time, so here I smoked some weed. It's probably good weed too. So but I did that with my cousin, and then I finally got on the road. Probably I got to his house at a little bit before 1, and I didn't leave until a little after 4. So it's already, getting that time of year where it's already starting sun go down. I don't like to drive down unfamiliar roads at night if I can help it. So let's get this going again. Anyway, um, I stopped at some little town north of Jonesboro in Arkansas and found a rest area, and it was just got dark. So it was about 8 o'clock or something, maybe a little after 8. And I stopped, pulled in this rest area, and my GPS says I wasn't going to get home till 3 in the morning. I'm not going to continue driving to get home at 3 in the morning. So this time it had all that stuff in the back seat, so I couldn't sleep back there. So I moved everything onto the floor in the front seat, and then had the seat and put the little divider thing up so it was a full bench seat. Couldn't get comfortable. Tried to get comfortable, but stretch my feet out, my sitting up, and just wasn't comfortable. So I got back into the sitting position behind the steering wheel, and I just went to sleep there. I didn't even look for a pillow. I just had 2 blankets. I wadded one blanket up as a pillow, and the other one on me, and I covered my eyes so the lights at the rest area wasn't bothering me. There were other people doing the same thing. There was a couple trucks there. It was a small rest area because it was on a U.S. highway. It wasn't on a interstate. And clean team, cool. Can you please talk about how filthy and gross Rogers? I will in a minute as soon as I tell my story about my trip back. Roger, that guy. I've been meaning to put out a video about him on my Black Onion channel. And I'll talk a little bit about Elbow too. Elbow's got some new stuff going on. He is the worst. So anyway, I slept and then I got up next morning. I didn't sleep all night, but I laid there and relaxed. And see, that's important. Sometimes you can't really sleep, but you need to lay and rest so that your mind is back where it should be. So I got my mind right. And the next morning, it's still dark. It was like 4 in the morning, maybe 3 when I woke up. I went to the bathroom, secured everything, and then I drove straight through from Arkansas all the way to here, to Alabama. Got home around 1. I filled up with gas. I didn't have. I was real worried because I only had so much money, so I didn't have any food. I just had a big loaf of stale bread that I got from my mom's house, and I had that steak that was left over, and I cut it into little slices, and I was eating that along the way. It was a big, thick steak. So, um, I finally made it home around 1 o'clock. My dog was so excited to see me. Even last night, she got into bed with me and was rolling around, loving on me. She's so happy I'm back home. She can be upset tomorrow because I got not dentist, I got an eye appointment tomorrow. And I got to leave, and she's going to be worried I'm not coming back, but I'm coming back. Yeah, he is a filthy cross dresser. Though he says he's not a cross dresser. So anyway, that's my story. I got home and the chicken pen needs work. The cat's got on top of and broke the nylon, well, whatever that bird netting that I had over it. So I got to spend some money and buy some chicken wire to put over the top, keep them contained, especially the turkeys because they can fly, and the chickens keep getting out. So I got to work on theirs too. But chickens get out in the morning. I just open up their pen and throw food in there, and they come running in there. So it's no big deal. But anyway, let's talk about Roger a little bit. Oh, Roger Dodger. Roger Brownstein. Anyway, he's one filth. He hasn't been putting out too many videos. I know he has 2 channels. He has this cross-dressing channel he calls Roger Walks Around or something. And then he had it with this other woman that he was friends with, but I knew that wouldn't last. Once people realize what Roger is, they dump him. Anyway, Roger, the cross-dressing guy with no electricity. He has electricity. He must have electricity because he charges phones. He does live streams, so he must have electricity. I never see lights on at his house, but maybe he has those too. And he has a barn. Yeah, Nicolina was a big defender for a while. Young girl, Grace. I don't know what hell happened with him and Grace because I've been watching her other Lowell's cows. The Cyrex thing was really big for a while. And now Cyrex is back. He's doing videos on Facebook, and N-Word Boy has been posting them. I just got through watching one of him threatening everybody. You picked the wrong person to threaten or a wrong person to mess with. It's like, yeah, right. You get your ass kicked every time you confront somebody. He's going to kick anybody's ass if they mess with him or his family. He don't ever come outside except for to talk to the cops or go to court. Other than that, he stays in his little hobbit hole bedroom up there. Yeah, Roger falls in love with people. He had this one woman, Mob Wife, is her YouTube name, and she gave me all kinds of stuff on him. He makes all kinds of claims that they were doing S&M stuff, but I don't think so. The Mob Wife lady's a rich lady that felt sorry for him and went down there and to try to help him and get him some new clothes and some new underwear and socks and things like that. Get him in a hotel so he could take a shower. And I guess he didn't take a shower. She had to demand him take a shower. His Instagram was Insane Wicked Gay. I don't never seen his Instagram stuff. I don't think anybody's afraid of Roger, except for he's got that knife and stuff, and he is mentally ill. So I wouldn't fuck with him. I wouldn't come on his property. But see, I own property myself, so I respect other people's property because even his is dilapidated. He lives not that far from Von Helton. I think he's probably an hour's drive from Von Helton. He's straight across. He's on the other side of the interstate from Von Helton. What interstate is that? 65 or is that? It's not 75, I don't think. It might be 65. Anyway, they're on two opposite sides of that interstate, really directly across from each other. A little bit ways. I think Von Helt lives a little further away from the interstate than Roger does. Roger doesn't live that far from the interstate there. I know where his house is. I did the Google Maps thing and looked up where his house is. But yeah, his house is dilapidated. It's a trailer that's fallen apart, and he has a barn that's fallen apart. Get a big storm in the area, that barn's going to go down on all his little gamey stuff he's got in there. His lair. That's the cleanest part of his property is inside that barn, that old barn that got the ceilings all rotted away. And he hangs out in there in the summer. He has a lot of inbred cats. That he does. He doesn't, I have 2 cats. You live in the country, you got to have a cat. So, you get rodents or lizards or snakes, little snakes and stuff, and the cats will keep them away. But my cats, I got them as kittens, and once they were adult and mature, I took them, got them fixed. Brother and sister, I don't want them breeding. They were getting a little too friendly with each other too, and I was like, we better get them fixed. So yeah, he has a property which was his parents' property. You don't talk about his father much, but his father's family lives all around there. Most of his neighbors are like his father's brothers and sisters. So all his neighbors are related to him. In right where he's never mentioned that, but I did some research once I had his docs, and I went to a real estate site, and every house on that road that he lives on, his last name is Brown. So I put 2 and 2 together and figured they're all his relatives. Funny, they don't have anything to do with him. They all probably know how creepy he is. And if they have kids, they don't want him around, that's for sure. Some of those people that he shows those horses are one of his family members. And there's a biker guy that lives down the road and around the corner that's not related to him. That's the only person that gives him rides into town. He has family, they all have vehicles, and they never give him rides. So that tells you a little bit about his family, what they think about him. He was never in a biker gang. He claims he killed people. Yep, in Cincinnati, same town that Von Helton claims he did a bunch of stuff. It's weird. They're both from Cincinnati, and they both live in Kentucky now. Yeah, give him a ride. Yeah, give him a ride the tailgate of my pickup. Hook him to the hitch. Gang spoke Pig Latin. Yeah. He Roger. Nicolina's channel went down. I'm sure Roger had a lot to do with it. Roger has a bunch of Obama phones. And with each one of those phones, he has a one or two YouTube accounts. He has like 10 or 12 that I know of YouTube accounts. They doesn't really use, but he uses them to flag people. So he'll use all his accounts, and that's how he gets people's channels shut down. He'll strike it with a bunch of all of his channels. And that's how I lost my channel, because I already had a strike on me. And then he went and did one of those thunder strikes on me. And next thing you know, I get up one morning, my channel's down. And I was like, I brought it on myself. Probably got a little too carried away. So you got to be careful when you make videos about him. Because this guy is such a hypocrite. I mean, he goes around harassing people. Harasses this one mentally ill lady and lives in Los Angeles. What is her name? Andrea or something. And he harasses the shit out of her. And he harasses this other woman that's kind of a big woman that was friends of his a long time ago. And he harasses that woman, makes videos about how fat she is and stuff. Fat shames the hell out of her. And yet, if you talk about him, he gets so butthurt. Oh, you can't do that. And he'll strike you and everything. That's what Roger does. That's why I can't stand the guy. I mean, I like making fun of Nick Bravo, but I don't hate Nick Bravo. I can stand that guy. He's just so stupid. That's the thing about Nick Bravo. He just says such stupid things. And so I make fun of him. And he is a felon. He done some bad things, stole property and sold it and stuff. So he's kind of a bad person, but he's not like the worst. The other one that's I compare with Roger Brown is Elvis Travels. Now he's around, but he's on Facebook, and I've been blocked from his Facebook page, so I can't watch the videos. He's been putting videos. He bought a new van. It's a 30-year-old Dodge van, and it looks nice now. Whoever bought it from kept it up really nice, but it won't be long till he trashes that. It's got a little tiny bathroom. I don't think he can even fit in it because he's gained a lot of weight since he was on YouTube regularly. Yeah, I'm wondering why Elvis Travels don't ever go down there and hang out with Roger Brown. I mean, Roger Brown could dress up for him. They could have quite a bit of fun there in the barn. They both must shit in bags. I don't know where Roger Brown goes to the bathroom because he ain't got no plumbing. He ain't got no water. So you can't use the toilet if you ain't got no water. So he does something. Yeah. So, I mean, he probably poops in bags like Elvis Travels does. Elvis Travels does have a toilet in his van. So we'll see if he keeps it or if he takes it out. His bed's in the back in that one, kind of like his jungle room. So he doesn't need to take it out. But, he took it out of his van. He depreciated the van by $1,000 or more just for taking the bathroom out, if not more. Hey, Happy Jesus. Yeah, he's got Stabby, the girlfriend. Pretty much, I think she's going to wear the pants because, old Stabby could beat the shit out of Corky. If Corky ever gets abusive to her, she just turn around and backhand him. I mean, I think she's not too smart either, so maybe Corky could manipulate her, but abuse that way. I hope their relationship works out between the two. They got an uphill battle, though. I mean, they definitely got that. They got an uphill battle to go. Yeah, if you have Walmart bags and a jug to piss in, you don't need a bathroom. I don't know. I know people at camp that will take a 5-gallon bucket and put that foam around the edge and put a bag in there and use it as a toilet. I had to do that when an old place in Georgia when the septic system backed up and we couldn't use the toilet, couldn't flush anything, so we had to use that only for a day because the plumber wasn't going to be out there for 24 hours. So that's what we had to do if we had to go to the bathroom. My son said he ain't doing that. He just drove down to Walmart and used their bathroom. I think my wife did the same. I did do that one time and then just tied up the bag and threw it in the trash. But Um, yeah, the things you have to do sometimes, but to do it as a lifestyle, that you know, I had to go to the bathroom one time in a Walmart bag that was in a 50-gallon bucket. Uh, Hope I never have to do that again. Um, but Elvis Travels, he's probably going to drive that van down to Florida. So it's a 30-year-old van, and there's nothing wrong with owning old cars and vans and trucks and stuff. But if you own an old vehicle, you need to have a lot of mechanical skills because the old parts on there are eventually going to go out, and who knows what's been replaced. I mean, usually old vehicles, not everything's been replaced. There's still original parts. Those original parts are 30 years old. They're bound to go out. Who knows how old that transmission is? I think the people we bought it from kept it and didn't use it much. But, you know, even if it just sits, things go out on vehicles. The seals and the rubber are going to get old, and he's going to have hell time going down to Florida. Now that van's older than the Lisa Marie. It's a wide body van, and it does look nice right now. But he'll have that thing torn up 6 months from now. If he shows it in one of his videos, it's going to be a pigsty torn up because he went to Rosie's, and Rosie took everything out of that van and rebuilt it all back up. And it wasn't long before he had that thing torn up again. So, he's going to tear up this new van he's got because he didn't take care of shit. He doesn't know how. He doesn't want to. He's lazy. And it's just going to, that's why he works security jobs, because he probably works at some desk where he's supposed to monitor the screens. And, that's the only kind of work he can do because he's lazy. He tried doing trucking. You can't be a truck driver if you're lazy. That's why he failed as a truck driver. That, and he's not able to learn anything. Excuse me. Anyway, yeah. So how you doing, Happy Jesus 123? You've known Nick Bravo for a long time because I watch old videos of his, and he mentions you like in his old videos. I don't even know how many people I have in here. Probably not very many. I got one. That's okay. No big deal. I usually come back and like if I do a live and then I'll come back and look at it the next day and it'll have a lot of views. But I should do more live videos. It's just I can't do them on my other channel because my other channel, they want phone number, email address and stuff, or no, phone number before I can do anything on there. I don't want it to be attached to this channel. So that way I can put stuff on there and I don't care if that's my throwaway channel, my Black Onion channel. I have my Corky videos on there and my Elvis Travels, Von Helton, Roger Brown, Cyrex. And Cyrex, he's back, threatening. Yeah, I didn't know him. I think I knew. Well, I knew Happy Cabby. I don't know. A while back, I talked to him. I was driving a cab for a while in Atlanta, and I talked to him. I don't know how I ended up talking to him. It was when Google Plus was around. It was quite a while ago. And he passed away about a year later, I think. He was talking to me about becoming a truck driver, and I was telling him I had been a truck driver. I was taking a break from driving truck, and I drive cab, and that's what I used to do. I'd drive truck for a couple of years, then I'd drive cab for about a year, and I'd go back to driving truck for a couple of years. And that's what I did. And then Uber came out, and I couldn't do the cab thing anymore because can't make any money driving a cab with Uber. But well, I'll tell you, back. I was working in Denver and Fort Collins, Colorado, back in 2010, 2010 to 2012, where I moved out to Georgia, just barely into 2012. So I think I moved to Georgia in April. So I drove cab, and I was also driving a city bus. They had a night bus, and the cab company was handling the night bus for the city. So they gave us a couple buses just to get the drunk students home because there's a big college in Fort Collins, and we'd drive the students home on Saturday and Sunday. They'd have the bus running at night. And we just basically went from downtown to the college campus and all the apartments where the college students live. But I made a lot of money driving a cab back then before Uber. I made money on tips. I mean, those college students, they got their dad's trust fund, they got their parents' money, and they spend it like crazy. And man, they give you good tips when they're in. Drunks give good tips. So working nights, driving a cab. But when I was in Atlanta, I was just too scared to drive a cab at night. I knew some people who did, and they made good money, but I just didn't. Also, you hear about cab drivers getting shot or stabbed driving at night, so I didn't drive at night. But okay, so he did end up driving a truck because he was asking me a bunch of questions about driving a truck. And this, I think it was like could have been 2013 or 2014. I was still living in Marietta before I bought my house in Dallas, Georgia. Um, I talked to him a little while. I don't know what it prompted me to talk to him or why he sought me out. I wasn't that well known. I was just starting out on YouTube back then. I didn't even put my first video until 2014, right about the same time Andrea left Von Helton. That's when I started making my first videos. But before that, I was just a lurker and didn't make videos, just have different channels, and I'd forget the password to that channel. I started a new one. And then 2014, I started the Just Darren channel. And I had that one until Rosie O'Kelly got my channel shut down in 2019, maybe, or 2020, somewhere in there. And then the last channel got shut down by Roger Brown. So that's why in this channel, I don't really have much troll stuff going on. It's just stuff about my farm, my artwork, and cruises. I just kind of leave it that way, and hopefully I can build that channel up. A little bit harder to build it up because everybody wants to see my stuff. So I do that on my other channel, mostly the Black Onion. And the Black Onion started as when Elvis Travels wanted to fight me, and I had this because he uses a truck driver. Sometimes it's real cold, and I'm in a cold climate, and I got the little ski mask, and so I got one of those, bought at a truck stop somewhere, and had that mask, and I'm like, oh, put the mask on because he wanted to wrestle me. He said, I want to wrestle Darren in a cage match. So I became a wrestler. I was okay. I'm going to be the Black Onion. Of course, Elvis Travels back down as soon as I accepted his thing, and then I did some Black Onion things, and then Corky wanted to fight me, so I brought the Black Onion back out, and that's the history of the Black Onion. That's how that all got started, from Elvis Travels wanting to fight me in a wrestling match. But I heard Corky, he was going to kick my ass too. He's going to come down here. Yeah, someone wrote up there that Roger Brown wanted Tasha Teeling to live there. Tasha Teeling is a piece of work too, but I don't think she would live in that scumhole place. Now I'll tell you, about where um, I've been doing a little research on Kentucky. I started doing some a long time ago when I was looking for a place to buy my homestead. I looked into Kentucky because you can get some really good real estate in Kentucky for real cheap, especially in that part where Roger Brown and Von Helton live, uh, Clay County and Williams County and some of those other counties in there along National Burn, uh, Daniel Boone National Forest area. Um, it's a big, huge meth area. There's a lot of meth there. It's a white ghetto. There's only white people that live there. There might be a few other minorities there, but it's mostly just white people. And it's like the poorest place in the United States. Kentucky, out of top 10 most impoverished counties in the United States, out of the top 10, 3 of them are Kentucky counties right there where in the area where Von Helton lives. Clay County is not on there, but Clay County is probably pretty impoverished area. There's not much going on there. It used to be really big when coal mining was going on, just a little south of where Von Helton is. They used to employ a lot of people working the coal mines, and then the coal mines pulled out for environmental reasons. The U.S. government closed a lot of them down, and so a lot of people moved out of that area. People who had any sense, and they went up work coal mines in Wyoming or Virginia, West Virginia. They pulled out of that part of Kentucky, and that was probably 30 years ago. And it's never recovered from that. And so that area is really bad meth problems. And the way that Roger lives, there's a lot of people in that area that live like that with no running water. And I was watching a video where a guy was driving around that area and talking about it. There are little trailer park things where none of the trailers are hooked up to any water, and people just poop in their front yards. I'm not kidding. They really do. They go out there and poop in their front yards. And that's the area where Von Helton and Roger Brown live. Now, there's some little bit nicer areas down in there, too. There always is but, it's such beautiful country, though. You're in those Kentucky hills. And I remember as a truck driver, I'd have to go in there and deliver pole barns and things like that. And just this is nice looking country. But man, people are poor where Von Helton lives and where Roger Brown lives. It's kind of checkerboard, a little poor area. Then there's areas that aren't so poor. But that's Clay County is 94% white and 36% poverty according to the census. Yeah, it's pretty. I mean, now down where I live, there's a lot of poverty too, but it's poverty I think is due to racism because a lot of black people live here, and this part of Alabama, there were a lot of bad things that happened in the 60s and 70s and 50s for black people. But I don't know. There is a lot of poverty out here too, but it's not like the poverty in Kentucky. Mississippi's really bad. That's a good thing. Alabama has Mississippi next door because we can always say Alabama's bad, but Mississippi's worse. And I'm sure in Tennessee they'll say Tennessee's bad, but Kentucky's worse. I like where I live. There's not a lot of opportunity for young people. It probably best for them just to move on once they graduate high school if they want to do better themselves. I mean, there is some opportunities. They're just limited. There's lumber. Lumber is a big thing here. Cotton is big, but I don't see that much cotton. And peanuts, if you go south, they grow a lot of peanuts. So agriculture is doing all right down here. Could do better. I'm hoping when California, if California doesn't have enough water, all those farms are going to have to move out of California. And I'm hoping a lot of them move out here, and that'll create more jobs for the black people out here and opportunities for them. A lot of them have agricultural backgrounds, but you know, where I live, me and my wife were the first white people to live on this road, and you hear things about black people, and you get a bad image from watching the news, stuff about shootings and things. People around here are the nicest people ever. You can leave your house unlocked. Nobody's going to steal anything out here. Nobody's going to mess with your property out here. So, you know, you can say what you want about the South, but I think I get more grief from black people. White people. There are white people that have mentioned where I live, and they don't want to talk to me after that. They're like, "How do you live there?" Like, yeah, it's a nice brick house, out in the country. But they can't believe when I moved here. I didn't know what my neighbors even looked like because it was middle of July in the summer in Alabama, southern Alabama. It's hot. Everybody's in their house in their air conditioning. I looked at the property. I loved the property, and so I bought it. I got it for a really good price, and now I live here. So, and this is probably where I'll live till I die. Weather alert! Oh my gosh, I may have to get that. I got an oak table. I got to get in the house. I picked up at my mom's and brought down here. It's a desk. It's got a drawer. It's just flat top. It's solid oak and it's heavy. I got to bring that into the house. But Williams County, which is south of Von Helton, that county is really bad poverty. But yeah, it's a white ghetto for sure. So white people can have their ghettos too, I guess. And they have a drug problem. We don't have a drug problem down here. None that I'm aware of. I don't know of anybody who does hard drugs. A lot of people smoke pot, but that's about it. And the people that grow their own, and they grow them out. They go out in the woods if they have woods on their property, and they grow that out there. And I don't mess on their properties. And I mind my own business. And if I grew pot, they would mind their own business. I just got to get some seeds, I guess. That's about the only way. I'm not going to buy any from anybody because I don't know anybody that sells it. Most people I know don't do it anyway. My friend down the road who helps me out all the time when I need help, I know he said he used to smoke it a lot when he was younger, but he's kind of trying to better himself. He raises chickens. We're the only two that raise chickens on this road. So he comes over and houses my chickens all the time. And I gave him my biggest turkey. I had a 40-pound turkey. And I gave to him because he lives with his wife and his two kids and his sister and his mom and his dad. And they all live in one trailer. So I'm like, those people need a big turkey. So I gave them my turkey. Is anybody even still in here? Maybe not. Anyway, I talked on enough. So you guys have a good day and a better tomorrow.